Morning, folks. Bubbo here, coming to you from a hotel room in Sydney, Ohio. Great to see everybody today. So, I stumbled on a Facebook page featuring Williams Air Force Base IPs and students and crew chiefs and so forth. And what a fantastic page it is. It gives you some insight into what the mission was like in the 70s, 80s, and probably early 90s until Willie closed. At any rate, I just enjoy reading the different stories. It kind of stimulates me. It's a little bit like Three's In, if you will. It kind of stimulates me into thinking about things I had not thought about for years. The other day, I tossed out a name that has been with me since the mid-70s when I was at Vance Air Force Base. A man named Clyde Williams. He was our chief of FCF, Functional Check Flight. And Clyde was a great guy. He was what I would refer to as a captain's lieutenant colonel. He really paid attention to the people that worked for him and the people he worked with. Now, at the time, I was a chief of Flying Safety Advance as a captain. This would have been in 78, actually. I was the chief of safety, and Clyde was the chief of FCF, and our respective functions were in the same building. So when it came time to walk over for the staff meetings, the wing staff meetings, often we would collect each other and walk over to wing headquarters at the same time and talk about different things. Now, I had been up to the wing commander's office a week before, I suppose, this particular day. And the wing commander was really pissed off at one of the squadron commanders. And he started in on this guy, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable because as a captain, I didn't really feel, comfortable listening to a colonel just unload on this lieutenant colonel on one hand. But on the other hand, the lieutenant colonel was an idiot, so I was okay with it. Anyway, our wing commander, Colonel Tom Magner, just uncorked on this guy. And as I was sitting there, I was watching Colonel Magner get more and more pissed off. And it was a thing of beauty in actuality. I got past what he was saying, and I began admiring just how good he was at ass chewing. Although he wasn't chewing my ass, he was, I guess, I don't know. At any rate, I thought, damn, this guy's good. And I just kind of sat there and took a few lessons in. But one of the things I noticed was that as he got more and more spun up about this lieutenant colonel, he stopped blinking. I've never seen that before in an individual. He didn't blink. He must have gone on this rant for about maybe 8 to 10 minutes, and he did not blink. And I'm sitting there watching this, and when it dawned on me, all of a sudden my eyes started watering, and I'm sitting there, oh geez, blink, damn it, would you please blink, it's killing me. At any rate, he's sitting there going on and on about this guy, and finally he tapered off, and we went about our respective business, and that was it. So, wind the clock forward a little bit. Now Clyde and I are walking over from our building to wing headquarters, and I said to Colonel Williams, I said, I saw the damnedest thing last week. He said, what's that? And I said, Colonel Magner was chewing out Lieutenant Colonel so-and-so, and I said, during the ass chewing, it was an ass chewing by proxy, I suppose, because the Magnificent wasn't there. And I said, as he went on and on, I said, he stopped blinking. I said, you ever notice that in Colonel Magner? I said, when he chews your ass, he doesn't blink. I said, it's the darndest thing I've ever seen. He just goes on and on. And Colonel Williams says, no, I'm not seeing that. So anyway, I just let it drop. Well, about 4, 5, 6 days later, whatever the time period was, Colonel Williams comes in my office. He said, USOB. And I said, what do you mean, sir? He says, I just got my ass chewed by Colonel Magner for something or another. He says, I couldn't hear a thing he was saying. He says, you're right, he doesn't blink. And he says, it was everything I could do to keep from laughing. And I said, yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough being in a position of authority like that and have to watch that. Anyway, so we laughed about it. We chuckled about it. He says, I'll tell you something else about Colonel Magner. He says, next staff meeting we get to, he says, watch those three little Gomers and their head nods. He says, now this is something I notice. He says, when Colonel Magner gets on an issue up there, he'll start in at the head of the table, and he says, and we're not going to do this crap anymore, are we? I just slugged the desk. That's what moved the screen. And the three little Gomers, the T-37, the T-38, and the student squadron commanders, respectively, all sat one next to each other. He says, you watch their heads. He says, when he said, we're not going to do this crap anymore, are we? He said, all three of them will sit there like this. And we're going to start doing this, aren't we? And all three will go like this. Their heads nod in unison. Now, I sat at the end of the conga line with those three, and then Colonel Williams at the table sat across from me. So, sure enough, Colonel Magner starts in on this, and he says, we're not going to do this, are we? And all three are shaking. I can see it out of peripheral vision. And he says, and we're going to start doing this, aren't we? And like this. And then I look across at Clyde, and Clyde's sitting there looking at me going, see? And Colonel Magner's going into his rant. The blinking has ceased. And I'm sitting there trying to keep from laughing myself. Oh, well. That was the relationship that I had with Clyde. He was just a great guy. From... I guess it's a good time to tell you. He was on a weekend cross country, I think, and I was flying a Tweet, and he was in the hellhole. Now, the Tweet had a panel underneath its belly. They called it the hellhole because it was hell to get up in there and do whatever maintenance you had to do. So he had something he was doing on this cross country. He was in the hellhole, and he gets a call from somebody or another. So damn it, he crawled out from underneath the airplane, went into base ops, I suppose, took the call, and it was a call from somebody informing him he had not made full colonel. Well, Clyde knew with his career path that he probably was not going to make full colonel, and it kind of annoyed him that this bozo called him out from underneath the hellhole, which is a pain in the neck to get to tell him he hadn't made full colonel. Oh, give me a break. But he just looked at, I can almost see him today telling me that story. That the guy really was annoying. Anyway, so when he left Vance, he eventually ended up as the chief of FCF out at Williams Air Force Base. And the other day I put on the page, I asked anybody if they knew Clyde Williams and his wife Bunny. Great people, both of them. And one guy replied that he did know him, and he was going to reach out and send his point of contact to me. I sure hope I hear from him again. When Clyde retired from the Air Force in, probably 88, I was invited out to his retirement dinner. And when I got out there, it was something really to behold. The guy was just so respected. And I'll never forget, they talked about his last flight as he taxied out on a solo flight in a T-38. The airmen, the crew chiefs, the maintenance guys, all lined the taxiway there at Williams. And it was quite a long taxiway, as those of you who might have flown into Williams know. And they lined that taxiway, and as he taxied out, they all stood at attention and saluted. And I'll tell you what, I wish I had gotten there earlier for that event, because I would have joined the line. I had just that degree of respect for him. So, Clyde, if you happen to stumble on this, sir, I salute you. I am glad I had the opportunity to know you, to work with you, and I sit here with just so many fond memories of the conversations we had. As a captain's lieutenant colonel, you taught me so much that I employed throughout the rest of my Air Force career, and I'm very grateful for that. That being said, this is Bubba coming to you from this hotel room. I'll be glad when I have pictures of airplanes up on the wall instead of those, I don't know what those hinky things are, but anyway, this is Bubba, base gear, stop.